whatnot, this paper's cold. Every issue a story that's gotta be told.
Hey everybody, it's another week. It's another whatnot. Yeah, we're here again. We're going to be talking about some cool topics tonight. We're going to be talking about some interesting stuff. If you saw, we're going to be talking about tariffs. We're going to be talking about when to do pre-bids and other questions that people have. Um, in the channel and in the chat. But first off, we got to bring in a couple of our perennial, I guess would be the correct word, perennial uh, panelists, and that is from the beginning, Mr. Pilsner Props.
What's going on, everybody?
Hey, and we've got Rick and Mel, the Soders.
What's up, everybody?
Hello, everyone.
Hey, and who we got in the chat? Uh, oh, oh, hold on.
Can a
I'm
brother
just
get a link?
Yep, it's coming. Sorry, I'm just doing like 50 different things here. Hold on. All right, there we go. It's on its way. All right, yeah. So crazy whatnot. Craziness is going on. They sort of implemented a new tariff system, but we're going to set that for the second topic because Alien's doing his show right now, and I think another Canadian seller uh, is worthwhile to have their opinions. So let's break it off. How's everybody doing this week?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Good to hear. And yeah, so the first topic that we're going to talk about is, of course, pre-bids, and especially having Rick and Mel on. You guys use it a lot,
Yes.
but the reason that I wanted to talk about it is now you do it at the low $2 to $3 start bids. So we want to say, hey, when do you run a book that you want it, that like a bigger book on a pre-bid? When do you say, hey, it's high enough that we're going to run this?
It depends on the book. And I want to start out by saying I would not recommend starting that way. Um, Anybody that's starting out on whatnot, it is probably going to be a piss poor decision to start doing it that way until you build up a following. Um, the reason being is um, you're not going to have enough people that's going to have the confidence, even with if the books are quality, even if you got a couple people in the room, you got to build that reputation before you feel the confidence to be able to do something like that. Because truth be told, we legitimately ate a lot of ass in order to get to that point. We're comfortable doing it now, even if a New Mutants 98 was still sitting at $1, we're still going to come out ahead. It's very rare we don't do that at this point, but in the beginning, it was rough waters to get to that point. You have to build up a following, you have to build up a reputation, you have to build up that confidence within the selling or seller community. Don't just start that way and expect everything's going to go good. That is my best advice for anybody that's just starting out. You can pay your dues, figure out what's working well for you. Um, but I can tell you, once you do get to that point, like I said, I have zero problem starting, even if there's no pre-bids on a New Mutants 98, I would start it at $1 under most circumstances. but it took a while to get there too.
Well, and I actually brought this topic up because I watched Rick and Mel's show. Big C Comics was running a show with loaded items where it was waiting on pre-bids. But a pre-bid at your starting price really doesn't move the needle, which is why I asked that question.
Pre-bidding at the starting price?
Yeah, so you have one pre-bid at your preloaded price of $3, $5, $10.
Mm-hmm.
Really doesn't move the needle, because if you get one bid when it runs live, it's the same as one pre-bid. And again, you got significant more following than someone else that was running a similar kind of
correct
show, and I get that.
Yep, and that goes back to the beginning of I would not start that way. Let it build up till you get to a point where you're comfortable selling it, because you do not have to sell the book even though you have it listed.
Correct.
So
and
if you
it was a mistake that I've seen lots of people make. I did it a lot because
us too in the beginning.
Everybody, you're trying to hit that 1K metric. You're trying to move some kind of volume. You're trying to get attention.
Yep.
Question becomes so it's a 2-person show for you guys. So that does add some ease compared to the single person shows, which is why
correct.
I love boxes so much, because I didn't need extra hands. But are you guys monitoring the saved books, the bookmarked, whatever books?
Yep. So what we do is
first, so you get those people back in the room, even if it doesn't have pre-bids.
Correct. So what we do is our rule of thumb is whenever we start the show, it starts with pre-bids and then requests. Requests take priority over pre-bids, but then it's just nothing but pre-bids. The bigger books, we won't hold them all till the end. The biggest books we will hold till the end, but we'll pepper them in just to make sure that we get continuous engagement from the buyers.
Oh yeah,
so
you'll have people that want you to run your 4 or 5 big books off the bat so they can bail.
Yeah, exactly. And don't ever do that. Now, what you need to do though, you need to run some of them throughout the show as well. But your top 3 books don't run till the end.
So you guys looked at I don't know, how many shows are you in now? You run, say, just your Sunday style show. How long have you been running that consistently?
Anywhere between 3 to 5, depending on how many I have in there.
No, months, years.
Oh, we've been
as it's been currently a little over about a year.
All right, so
say
about
a year.
With the dollar starts on Sundays? Yeah.
50 weeks less vacation than accepts.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
You guys track.
That's about right.
On variations of it. You know what I mean? Like, because obviously each week you tweak it a little bit, and you have a different crowd, and you work out what works best. Mm-hmm. Have you seen any significant improvement in the sale prices? And obviously,
God, yes, absolutely.
All right. Well,
and it's a combination of multiple things. It's not just that. It is having the books in there for one.
Yep.
Number 2 is having a variety works extremely well, because within the first 30 minutes, you might not have somebody that wants a specific book. So having that in there, you might have a pre-bid on it, but you don't run it until people start requesting certain things too. So what's the best way to put this? So if you have 150 books, and how we run our show, between 150 to 200 books pre-built in is perfect. Anything more than that, it just runs too long and it gets too convoluted. But you have a wide variety. The thumbnail picture is going to be the highlight of the books that you're running, which is going to draw the people in. And then you pepper it in with like maybe some I don't know, other major keys, some just regular keys, some minor keys, and then some like run filler as well they're not. It is a unique taste that is specifically looking for those books. But if you're running for 2 to 3 hours, somebody or multiple people will come in and see that book and say, I want that. Whether it's a Image comic, a Valiant comic, multiple people will be coming in, scrolling through your stuff and say, yeah, I want that. So we've had books that we couldn't sell for shit running them the other way, but now they're running we're getting closer to fair market value.
So I have a couple questions. So, and I'm going to keep using your Sunday shows as an example because you have other restrictions on other days.
Yeah.
How far ahead are you preloading those books?
Like right now, I am through September, and I do that for ease, just because I have so much that I got to go through, and it takes so much time. If I try to do, I mean, between you got to figure every time you run a show, however long you're running is going to take twice as long in order to do the packaging.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Because
On top. Go ahead.
As a seller, especially new buyers, have no idea how labor intensive the app actually is.
Yep.
No, and I was wondering because I asked that because if you're loading it, I would load stuff whatever a day beforehand, and I'd have mixed results. But if you're loading it far out, you actually are you seeing, and it's again there's metrics that we can't track that we really should be able to. How many hits do you get on those?
Sorry to interrupt. We also have Matt joining the stream as well.
Matt, my brother.
Hey, Harold.
Yes.
Hey, sorry, I'm eating as well. I'm just.
I was staring at my TV, just going on a rant. But out further, is there? Do you feel like because it's not a trackable metric that you're getting any better results because people can find it in their searches?
Absolutely.
Okay. So when I joined the app, that was the biggest frustration. I was looking for very specific books for my run, and there were zero listings for anything I wanted, and I almost left the first day because of it.
Yeah. So absolutely. So I'm built out through the Tuesday after my birthday. So that'd be like the end of September. So we got pre-bids already in. People are bookmarking. I already have people.
You checked your future shows to see if the stuff's pre-bid that far out.
Yep, and honestly, that helps too because that also gives me a metric where I can look at what people are interested in.
Well, yeah, if you got 3 or 4 pre-bids, you can go, hey, we're running this first, right?
Then when I'm going through my stock and I start prepping for the upcoming shows, because I have like 4 boxes that I'm already ready to build out in future shows based on the information that I'm gathering from having that stuff in there. So I know people are interested in that.
That's harder than my next question. So you're taking the data from what people are looking at, bookmarking, and pre-bidding ahead of time to know what to load in the future.
Correct.
Oh, I'm not that smart.
Yeah, back to the original question though, which was again, which Pilsner brought up, but I assume it was partially because of some of the talk that we had with Bailey's last week and previous. Is where do we actually?
Well, yeah.
What percentage of your starting price or your final price that you'd like to get, or the bottom, what percentage do you want to see before you run it as a pre-bid?
It depends on the book. Like I said, for us, what works better, and I can only speak for us, and I can speak as somebody that was completely sucking ass for the first year they were doing this, and we've been on for 2 years.
It's really a simple math thing. It's a $300 book, right?
Yep.
Yeah, started for $3 because you have the following.
Yep.
What dollar pre-bid do you start that book at?
So right now, again, I'm comfortable starting at $3 regardless. But now, if I go back 6 months, I would say probably
this is the help.
There's a percentage of what you paid for the book that you would need to be comfortable with. That's what I would base it off of. And we'll just use last night. We did trivia. So I had some bigger books in there last night that I wasn't going to run unless they hit a certain mark where I was going to make a certain percentage of a profit margin on it.
Right, that's what I'm asking though. Where do you think a percentage should be
so is it
of the money that you're looking to you're looking to get?
But again, you're asking for black and white questions, and it's very
a range. So if you $10,
I would say about 30%. On average, 30% would be good.
And that's all because I was a new seller and I did mystery boxes. So my experience was I can run this type of box and come out even break even, whatever. I did it for a lot of fun. I didn't make an actual profit on it. It was never the point.
Right.
But Matt, what do you run yours at? Like, where would you break? Where would you be happy with?
Now, some of them, if it's like, if you can get at least like, I don't know, at least 50% of the fair market value on a bigger book. Now, some of them, even if they're like $5 books, you're going to have to run them for $2. I don't care. Like if it's like in the $5-10 range, you have to start them at $2 because nobody's going to bid. I've noticed in my experience, unless it's like, okay, this is the first appearance of tarantula or something, or the first appearance of.
It depends on your growth type of show.
Yeah, but like Richard said, he's established himself. I'm just giving advice to people starting out is that some books you may not even want to sell some books starting out if you have some expensive books. You may want to just test it out
or throw them in a buy it now. That's what I would do.
Do a buy it now and bin. You basically $3 is about the biggest start you can really start on anything if you're just starting out. I mean, I got stuff that I won't let go for any higher than what I got invested in it. And if you're like that, that's if you're on a budget. Now, if you go out and you're buying like collections in bulk, it's easy to start things at $3. But if you're just like going around and cherry picking stuff and go, oh yeah, I got that for $5, but it's a $25 book, you're not going to get anywhere like that. I've tried, trust me.
That's why I asked, because there's several people I talk to, and I followed them just like Matt. And I don't know how many followers were you at when I found you, Matt, a year ago. I was on the app for a year.
500, maybe 300-400, something like that.
Several people I followed at 30 followers, and now they outpaced my old account. They're outpaced me tenfold. They're at 4,000 followers. They're at 2,200 followers, whatever, and they're still struggling in that range, the same range you had.
The big advice that I would give, and this goes for Matt and everybody else, is if you're going to sell on Whatnot, it is good to know what the fair market value is, but you cannot go off fair market value outside of Whatnot. You need to understand what the market is on Whatnot and what the average is on Whatnot. And then, but the way to maneuver around that is when you're purchasing, whether you're doing it cherry picking through a collection or bulk collections, either way, because I do both. The way to handle that is don't buy anything you're not comfortable with Whatnot's pricing, because Whatnot's pricing is not eBay pricing, it's not comic shop pricing, it's not con pricing. It is a unique beast in and of itself. Just like comic shops are different than cons are different than garage sales, and so on. You have to understand the platform that you're working on and what things are selling for on that.
Quick additional note to that pricing: new sellers do not use hip comics to price your stuff.
Yes, please don't do that. That is
again, also,
market value is not Whatnot.
Like Richard said, you got to come up with your. You have to kind of come up, like Ricky's saying, you got to come up with kind of your own algorithm. Like you can't just go to like Key Collector app and go, oh, this book's $40, because I'll tell you one thing: Key Collector is usually about $10 or $15 higher than it should be. Also, you need to cross-reference that with cover price and eBay last sold. Don't just go in there and search eBay for Spider-Man whatever number and go, oh, somebody is wanting $60 for it, because on eBay it's just like anything else. You can ask whatever you want. That doesn't mean somebody's going to pay that price for it. I could take this book and go, hey, this book's worth $15, and I'll put the buy it now price $15 on eBay. That doesn't mean that this book is worth $15.
Correct.
No, I agree with that. But there's several techniques I've seen that deploy that pricing. There's a guy I know. He will go onto one of the apps, and he will print out the stats, the keys, and the price range for each book, and he tapes it to the back of the bag, and he displays it for 4 runs, and he'll start them at doesn't matter what the range is, and he'll start them at $1, $3, whatever it is. And you can make your own choice. So there is some value to using a single app and collecting that data if you have the follower count and you're going to do the little start.
Yeah.
Custom make that decision.
And again, I'd say that is an oddity, and that person's, and I think I know who you're talking about, but they're doing really well because they did acquire that following and that base.
Well, they also do that big buyers givey bait.
Yeah. So here's a rule of thumb that works for me, and I'm not saying it's going to work for everybody. So you look at the fair market value, because I do on every single book that I list. It takes time because I do that. And then what I factor in is a 20% discount for whatnot, or no, a 20% discount plus another 10% on of that on the whatnot. So you're looking at a 30% discount or drop from what the fair market value is to what a reasonable expectation for a profit margin would be on that book. And then that helps me on my purchasing as well for future purchases and knowing what the trends are. So I know if this book is a good deal, but if I tried to sell it on whatnot, I'm still breaking even. Now, depending on the book, like if it's a wall book that's going to attract people, I'll eat that and understand I'll break even. But again, that's going to help me sell other books. But again, if I'm you gotta watch, you gotta understand the whatnot market, and that going back to the pre-bid aspect, that's where I know where I should start that book. And again, it's usually about 30% of what I paid for it.
Right.
So that gets me up to that point of
On topic, but sidestepped, because Rich and Mel preload everything, right? So you have 150 books loaded, right?
Yep.
And you have a rough idea what they should sell for.
Correct.
At your $3 starts.
Yep.
Are you doing a show return average? You doing a book return average? Because that is really
honestly, it's a little bit of both. So I'll use this as an example. We bought a Silver Surfer #1, Volume 1, and we paid decent money for it. And my hope was to break even, but I also knew having that book highlighted in that thumbnail where I had some image #1s newsstands, that if I didn't have something in there to keep people in or bring people in, I wasn't going to get that person that's looking for it. I had a Stormwatch #1 newsstand that I couldn't sell for the life of me, and that's a $10 to $15 book in high grade.
Yeah.
Fair market value. That thing sold close to $10 to $15 fucking dollars. Whereas if I didn't have that, so throughout the entire show, I lost money on that Silver Surfer one.
Book.
Right. But watching the metrics per book, I gained on the other. So overall during the show, you combine them all.
Okay, guys, we've rehashed this a number of times. My initial question is, I want to know for a new seller, a medium seller, and maybe one that's a veteran seller. Rick has already said about 30%. What I'm saying is, let's use $100 book for nice and round numbers.
Yep.
Okay, you paid $20 for the book. It's FMV at $100. You're not going to get that. You would like to see 80 or as close to 100 as possible, but where is that in the range that you're happy? And I know it depends on where what you paid for the book, but let's say you paid 30 to 40% for the book. Okay, where are you happy starting or having that pre-bid get up to before you run that book? And that's A, for a new seller, B, for a seller that's been around a few months, and C, the seller that's more a veteran.
For me, what my recommendation?
The whole panel. I'm going to start with Ron, then go to Rick, and then go to Matt.
Okay.
So as a new seller, I would say if you can make 10% over your cost and the fees, and you leverage it to grow your following, you're doing good, because you barely make 10% selling dollar books. I mean, so if you can get 10% over your cost and whatnot fees, that's when you run it, even if that's the last bid.
And for a medium seller?
I'm probably 15 to 20% because in medium seller at 4 months, 5 months, unless you're going to do I'm going to follow every single person I could possibly find and hope I get follows back. You're only at 500 followers, and you're going to get maybe a 3% show attendance out of that.
Okay.
Seriously,
And
great.
your
Your
veteran seller.
and your NGs and your those people.
Well, I'm saying even Rick. Rick's a veteran seller. That's what I'm trying to say is where
Oh,
do you think it should be?
1,000, not a 6-figure follower count. 30%.
Okay.
30% for what you paid and your whatnot fees, because you will make a lifetime customer if someone gets that book under advertised FMV and you still walked away with your money.
Okay. Rick, give me your 3% points.
For new sellers, don't. If you, at least for your bigger books, throw them in the buy it now. Let people make offers on it. Figure out where your market is on that book. Throw it in there, plus up to 20%, and then do it that way until you build up that following. Once that following's built up and you're at a medium seller, then I would probably go 10 to 15, maybe 20, depending on the book. But you also need to understand you need to sell. Even if you're taking a loss, people are noticing a little bit that people are buying from you, which is going to make other people want to buy as well. Whatnot is a very competitive beast. You can have a legitimate dollar book in there that if people are thinking that it's competitive. It is a sport. People will bid just to bid because they want to win. So you need to be aware of that as well. But don't fall into that game so much. Just make sure that you're buying accordingly, and you are again. The pre-bids are only that is the end of the race. It starts beforehand. Um, buy properly, I would say that, but I'd say 10 up to 20%, depending on the book. Once you're bigger, you have a little more leeway. 30 to 50%. That's kind of where we're sitting now. And you got to understand, sometimes you will, like with our Silver Surfer #1, we ate a shit sandwich on that one, but our overall show percentage was we actually did the math beforehand. What did we figure? 60, 70%?
Something like that.
Yeah,
overall.
60 or 70% overall on the show. And we ate ass on that Silver Surfer #1. But overall, it
made it up in other
made it up
books.
in other books. So again, you have to pay attention to the metrics. You have to pay attention to what people are interested in, and yet you have to be willing to take a loss to make a profit.
Okay. All right. And Matt, what your 3 tiers?
Well,
What do you think?
I kind of got a unique perspective because I started out over a year ago, and I have like 932 followers, but I left for like 6 months. So I can give you advice on both because I was kind of starting to be an established seller, then I just quit because of the, we don't get into that, but because I was too cheap to pay them, let's put it that way. But anyway, but I agree with Ricky on like, if you're starting out and you got like $100 book, I don't care if you pay $20 for it, put it in the bin, start out with, don't, because I made that mistake. But like, first of all, don't ever part with anything for lower than you're willing to get rid of it, unless you're just got a bunch of stuff you don't care. And like also what Pilsner said, you're not going to expect more than 15% profit, maybe if that, but you got to kind of do this weird kind of like math about it. Like, well, what's the fee going to be on whatnot? What did I pay for it? What's the book's FMV? What was it last sold for? A big seller, or if you get established like Ricky is, you can do the pre-bid thing and and start, just a reasonable price, like, or even somebody bigger than Ricky, like Comic Tom, he can start things at $1. But if you have something you're not willing to let go of for $1 or $2 or $3, put it in the bin. That's all I can say about that if you're starting out. But if you're like a medium seller, I think one thing I've noticed with a lot of people like Jay's List and Ricky and a few other guys on there is have a nice incentive, like buyer's giveaway for people, to where like, oh, you know what, I'm going to at least bid on one thing because I'd like to win that slab. Even if it's a slab, it's not even a key issue. People love slabs, in my experience, or at least some book that's got some kind of value. You don't just be like, hey, I got this Buffy the Vampire Slayer book. It's the buyer's giveaway. Nobody's going to care about that. And also, like, I know Pilsner beat it in my head. Giveaway, especially starting out. Now with the book, so like I'm saying, though, yeah, like you don't want to be like, hey, I got a Hulk 181 and I'm going to start it for $3 and you're a new seller. No, no, bad. Of course, I don't think anybody would ever do that, but that's a bad example.
I did.
Like, it just depends. You got, like, it is a grind, and like I learned the hard way. But also, it can depend on what kind of show you're doing. Because I used to do a show, if you remember, Glenn, it was just like the dollar bin extravaganza. And it was just dollar books, and I would just run them for $1 because you weren't going to get much out of them anyway. Now, but the problem is, you run into that.
But you can, because that's what Rick and Mel did. Is they started incorporating those books into their show.
Yeah.
To get better.
And then do that though. Don't just like start going banger after banger. Key issue after key issue. Run one that may be a little bit more, if you're going to do that, and then run some that are $1, $2.
Well, there's a whole bunch of techniques, and that's one of the problems is that you can't duplicate someone else's show and expect results.
Yeah, but there's techniques you can use. Like for us, like Pilsner was asking, how far out do I build a show? If I built a show the day before, I'm going to be significantly less successful data-wise and money-wise than I will the way that I'm doing it now. For the simple reason is people are able to jump in, they're screening through it, they'll be like, oh, that book's cool. It's a 1995 newsstand. And then regardless of what the book is, a 95 newsstand is worth more than a fucking $1. And people are starting to catch on to that.
I peruse your shows ahead of time all the time, whether I buy or not. I mean,
and you can't just wing it. You can't just like I see these people just want to do. They don't ever schedule a show. It's always a pop-up show. You cannot do that.
Stop.
Well, then they wonder why they're not.
You have to schedule them ahead of time. I mean, I think it's the smartest thing to do.
Yeah. And again, for us, there has been at least a 300% turnaround on our profit margins within the past 7-8 months because of the way we decided to start doing it. Being ourselves, preloading everything, and doing it in ahead of time. Because again, if I'm on a $3 book, if I'm getting 8 fucking bookmarks on it, I know I'm going to be doing okay.
So, as you load your shows out further and further ahead, and I'm going to ruin probably a future question, and it's off topic. Are you seeing an increase in new buyers?
Yes, we are averaging anywhere between 25 to 40% new buyers every single show.
See, that is a very significant metric that we haven't talked about.
And again, it's the pre-bids that are in there because it's it's pre-built. Most of them, and again, the frustrating part for me on it is they'll put the pre-bid in, and I'm getting one banger here, one banger there, one banger there. So packaging sucks having to do one book, but again, those new customers are also returning customers now. So that one book turns into 5 books 2 weeks later. That 5 books turns into, I have to use a short or a medium flat rate for them. And it's just a rotation. I would love to be able to throw more books in there, but I can't go 5-7 hours every single week.
Sam's only run a half a dozen shows, Matt's run a shit ton. I've run a bunch. Rick and Mel have run way too many. The biggest thing I learned was I needed more new buyers. I had people coming back week after week for whatever mayhem and mystery boxes and chainsaws and smashing slabs, whatever it was. They would come back. And so a future topic is new buyers, Santa. Get new buyers.
Oh, absolutely.
Getting returning buyers as well. More important.
Yeah, because I ran a very different show than Rick and Santa and you and JoJo and JSLess and Scandalous and Nerdy Girl. Like I tried to make it my own thing, very much my own thing. And I gained regular people and they were around and they didn't care what I was doing. They were in for it, you know?
Okay. Hopefully Alien will be along soon, but we're going to switch topics. We're going to move it over to tariffs. I don't know if everybody's seen this yet, but
I've heard about it.
That screenshot, the show.
I'm bringing them up. I actually did them. I've got them here. This is what you're seeing when you enter a Canadian buyer's room from outside, like if you're from the United States or England, or if you're United States going to England or whatever it is, this is what you're doing. You have to click on this. Like initially. So it's saying, for those that are just listening, it's attention, additional tariffs will apply. Because this seller ships from outside the United States, the carrier will charge tariffs before delivery. And it's significant. Now, also, you see this as well. Right at the top, shipping will be more expensive because the seller ships from outside the United States. Additional tariffs and fees will apply before delivery. So those things are there. You're starting to see it. My question and why I wanted it to talk about this topic is the fact Canadians have always had to pay tariffs and stuff before from buying from the United States. Where were these things beforehand? Why is it now? This is preferential treatment, and to me it seems like they are actively discouraging people from buying from these sellers. What are your thoughts?
I could give you a smart ass answer about our government, but I won't.
I'm talking about Whatnot. This has nothing to do with the tariffs themselves. I'm saying Whatnot's doing this.
I think maybe this is my conspiracy theory. I think Whatnot is using these tariffs as an excuse to do this.
Okay.
Those fees are going to be incurred either way, whether it's a conspiracy or not. Those fees exist.
Oh yeah, I'm not talking again. This is what I'm not bringing up the idea of tariffs. Right? I'm not saying good or bad, whatever. That's another topic.
It's just the way it is. Yeah, he's just saying that's the way it is. It's established. He's just saying why.
Yeah, the warning signal that wasn't there before that they're doing now.
Yeah, it's like those types of things. Like, to me, that seems like, hey, this is going to cost you a whole bunch more. Maybe go somewhere else. That's what that says to me. But maybe I'm taking it wrong.
But it does turd because I used to buy from Shoes, SHUZE.
Yeah.
I used to get that. I started getting that warning based on PayPal not supporting the international payment. This is now an extra thing.
See, we didn't here's the deal, and this is my opinion. Take it for what it's worth. We can say that politics shouldn't play a game in this conversation, but it does. So, like you said, there's something going on that is different than from before. So, Whatnot's an American company, and they are going to play that game in order to try to manipulate what's going to work best for them. So if the political climate benefits them in order to get what they're needing out of the situation, Of course they're going to do that. So
ultimately, what they need is more users, buyers and sellers, right?
Well, also, it's
I
the
don't
same
even
way
think
as
it's
the
that
gas.
much. I think that they're trying to manipulate the current world status in order to leverage themselves and the buyers in a position that are going to be more vocal to help eliminate what's going on that's frustrating for a lot of people.
And didn't they get mad at Amazon for like? Remember, Amazon originally was doing a thing where not that this is not whatnot, but they were doing a thing where they were telling you how much it was going to extra it was going to cost when you bought goods from like that from when you were in Canada, and they kind of got jumped on for doing it. And to me, it's no different. The reason I said it was they're just trying to take advantage. I think it's the same thing as how these gas stations would get in trouble when there was like a flood or a hurricane and they get caught price gouging. I kind of get the feeling that a lot of these whatnot may be trying to take
Yeah,
advantage of that.
the question posed is Santa's had to pay tariffs for stuff coming out of the U.S. and there's no warning.
Yeah.
There's suddenly a warning going the other way.
Correct.
That's the issue.
Yep. And again, that's where it goes back to what I'm saying. And I'm to stay as non-political as I can in a political answer. Whatnot is a business that is affected by the tariffs. The tariffs itself has not been any different up till this point, till the political climate has been more.
But is it
on the topic.
Well, no, it really hasn't, because the Canadian, we're not paying any more tariffs.
That's what I'm saying.
stuff
That's
getting-
exactly my point.
Yeah, but now that is only being shown to American users buying from Canadian sellers.
Exactly. That is my point.
Which
So
didn't exist before.
They are a business that is trying to leverage themselves in a position that's going to benefit them. And
but
the climate itself
is fee percentage, so they would actually make more money on a foreign transaction. So manipulating is better for them.
They won't. They're not getting profits from the tariffs though.
They could. Everyone else does it. I pay a 70-cent a gallon PA fuel tax that I pay sales tax on. Why wouldn't they do that?
Well, even if they don't, which as far as I know, they're taking it ahead of time. What makes it different this time is the fact of they're taking the tariffs ahead of time, where it's Whatnot doing it, not the government. Now the government is saying how much you have to, but they're not distinguishing between a comic book that was printed in the United States where there should be no tariffs whatsoever.
That's my point. That's what I'm saying.
That's what he means. Yeah. Well, I know this is not Whatnot. Again, it's not Whatnot, but I know a guy that self-publishes his own books, and he's based out of Canada, and he's shut down shipping out of Canada right now because he's not going to make any profit. That's what he claims. He could be just saying that, but could be an excuse for not being able to sell a book. I don't know.
Everything that I've researched on it is my interpretation. I mean, it is playing the political global climate, and I'm not sure what the end game is. I don't work for Whatnot. I don't know anybody personally that works for Whatnot. Just knowing how everything's going, when it happened, what was happening prior. Like Flat said, they were paying tariffs for the shit before. Why is that warning coming up?
Well,
it's kind of weird.
I mean, it makes sense if you look at it from a global climate standpoint. It makes sense, but again, we don't want to look at it from that way because
I don't know. Everything you see anywhere ever is manipulated by somebody.
Correct, and this is going to be no different.
So Santa, you've presented some CPRs in the past. What's the percentage of Canadian price variants that are tradable, saleable books? Obviously, there's modern books that probably come out up there with their own pricing. But what do you think the percentage of books that are crossing the border from Canada to the United States that are printed in the United States with U.S. prices?
Well, it used to be that Canada printed the majority of books, actually,
Yeah.
Canada and Rochester, New York, and Buffalo, New York, used to print the magazines, especially in the 90s. But now it's, and we can speak to this with Punisher because he's printing his own books, but there's most stuff's printed in the United States right now. So my question, I guess, what percentage? I would say probably about 5%, because Canadian price variants aren't a thing anymore. Like Canadian price variants were only a thing
70s.
in the 80s.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because the overall market, and you, Soder, Punisher, me, we're not buying all this modern stuff. So books that were printed back then, what is the percentage that were printed in Canada that would actually be tariffed? Because they're books that was printed in the U.S. and then shipped there to collectors one way or another. Distribution channels, Diamond.
About 50 to 60% Canadian.
Really?
I sent you a screenshot.
Well, that's my question. So instead of opening every box, it's easier just to blanket it.
Oh, I agree. It's not about. My question isn't the easy way, right? The easy way is always just do it one way or the other, right?
Yeah, but if you said it's 2% of those books are printed Canadian, then it's definitely a manipulation. If you say it's 50 to 60% Canadian, it's easier to blanket rule it.
Yeah.
I googled something about this for whatnot. I just wonder. I sent this to you, Glenn. I just wanted to read it. It says that Canada and UK to US, in order to comply with new requirements, whatnot sellers will now have to ship to the US by UPS. Now,
yes.
is that probably
that is absolutely correct. We no longer can use chit chats. We can no longer use Canada Post. It has to be UPS because it's prepped ahead of time. Canada was just getting, like with chit chats, we were just getting a foothold where we were able to do a bunch of givvies in a show, and we were able to do, good shipping, and it wouldn't, go crazy. Because before chit chats, it was about $10 to $12 US for the very first product, then $1.50 $1.50 every additional item. So that's why we used to bundle a lot. But now it's done, but it's crazy.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
No.
I was going to say that it also says here that that it says they have temporarily paused U.S. buyer purchasing from Europe and Australia.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we got Punisher here, so Punisher does his own book. So
did you say there was a pause to Europe?
Yeah, Europe and Australia.
Well, they didn't, as of Sunday. It wasn't, because I shipped.
Well, it says
August 31st.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So countries that will not ship to the United States right now.
Yeah.
In about the next week.
Anyways, I want to get Punisher's take on this. Sorry.
What's up, motherfucker?
Hey, I showed up late, fashionably late, but being the champion, I can show up when I want.
You know what? Eat me.
I can tell you, when we went looking around for printers, a majority of the printers right now that do Davis Rider, ours, Geezers, Bukus, a ton of, they're all in Arizona. I don't know why they all chose Arizona, but that's where a majority of the printing is going on right now for a lot of books. The tariff thing, I mean, I got late to the conversation. It doesn't really affect me that much. I mean, I don't really get much Canadians buying. So, I mean, even the one Canadian that actually shows up, he gets it sent to the United States. So, I mean, it's just everything. Look at gas prices. Look at food costs. Look at anything you're buying. It's affecting everything. So, the question is we could talk about it and complain about it and all that. What are we going to do about it? And what we got to do about it is adjust.
Hey,
We got to adjust. We got to give the money to the buyers. Unfortunately, what does that mean? You might be sitting on some books for a little bit longer, but eventually, that's what it's going to be. I mean, everything going up. And I mean, if you're spending money on shipping and God knows how long Whatnot is even going to keep their fees the way they are. If they might even increase their fees soon. We don't know.
You're right.
That's almost guaranteed.
Yeah.
Because it's greed. They're bringing in all this money. And my biggest question is, I actually question Whatnot on that. And I said, why are you not at all these conventions advertising? Why do you not have a booth set up at all these bigger conventions advertising for Whatnot? Why are you depending on us to do all the work?
They used to. They don't do it anymore, do they, Punisher?
They used to, yeah. They did it for their first 2 years of where they were really pushing.
Yeah, eBay still does.
So, I mean, I could tell you from my banner that I made for Baltimore, I didn't put Whatnot on it. I didn't put see me on Whatnot because not guaranteed you're going to see me on Whatnot. You might see me on a new app. You might see me on something else. So,
yeah.
And Whatnot doesn't pay me to put their logo on there.
Exactly. So why should you do the promoting for them for free?
Unfortunately, it sucks. Everybody thinks, okay, all these people are making $20 an hour now. All these people got up to this dire thing. But are you really making more money when everything went way up in the air? No matter who's in office, when things cost more and you're not making it anymore. I mean, I'd rather go back to make it. If I was doing, I'd rather go back to making $14 an hour and stuff was a third of the price.
Yep.
Well, yeah, I feel you on that. It doesn't seem to matter anymore. I agree with you.
Have you gone I don't eat McDonald's. Have you gone to McDonald's and see what when we were growing up? I remember when I was in high school and we would stop, man, you had $2.99. You could get yourself a double cheeseburger meal, French fries, and a Coke. It's like $12 now.
Yeah, if not more. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's ridiculous.
Yep. And we were. Who was I talking to? I was talking to somebody yesterday, and we were talking about not only eating healthy, but even with McDonald's the way it is, where it was with eating healthy when you go out is even more expensive.
Yeah,
it's not cost effective to eat healthy.
Price of chip and soda.
Here's an example: the Big Mac value meal now is $10. I remember when it was $5.
Well, it's cheaper where you are than where we're at.
Yeah,
I mean, it all depends what state you're in.
Yeah, I'm in Kentucky. I'm in Southeast Kentucky. It's a rural area.
Okay, yeah. I'm surprised it's not $2 there.
It might as well be. I still couldn't fucking afford it.
But
we also have to look at it like this, guys. Comic books is a luxury. It really is. And me and Surter had this conversation the other day because with the books coming out, what we price them, there are some people in our stream love them to death, but they can only afford it when it's less than $5, $4. Yeah. They can't afford a $50 book, a $25 book. We're not even talking about big boy keys and stuff. I'm just talking personal experience. They're great people.
I can bounce right off that and tell you exactly. Look, I got this the first appearance of the Sports of Solitude. I had to sacrifice to get that book. I couldn't afford to do it, but I just wanted it. You know what I mean? I had to sacrifice to get to other things to get that. So I totally understand that because I can't afford it.
So I know it's a luxury and it's great, and we all enjoy the comics, we all whatever, but we also have to realize with everything going up, luxury. I mean, to have a luxury, it's like, are we going to eat ramen this week, or are we going to get this cool comic book?
Yep.
So
And bringing this back around to the sales and what we were talking about earlier, this is why I preload my shows, and this is why I have a variety of types of books that meet everybody's expectations. So if you're going to sell on Whatnot, we are not Culture, we are not some of these other big ones that they have. They're gonna oversell their books, and God bless them, good for them. But most people are not like that on Whatnot. You have to be able to hit different markets, like Punisher was saying. You want to be able to have the nice books that the people can pay for, but yeah, if you want to actually sell, you have to have books on there that people can afford to buy as well.
yeah, because your market, it's just like any business.
Yep.
For example, you drive by, you see a BMW or Mercedes dealership, but not everybody can afford that. And you see this or an expensive restaurant where it's $30 for a soda and $80 for a steak. That's maybe good for one special occasion, but I can't afford that every week.
No, but you like looking at that BMW.
I do.
So when your thumbnail's up there and you have those big books, those people that can't afford it are still going in there. So when they're looking at your other stuff, they're like, "Oh yeah, I can afford that. That's nice. That looks in good condition."
I do that all the
You're
time.
able to fluctuate the buyer spectrum to where you're still able to make some sort of profit. There's a lot of people on there that are just they're either throwing up big books or they're throwing up big books cheap and losing their ass because nobody's buying. And I was one of them. But again, the preloading and having the variety is going to be significantly beneficial for whether you're new or you've been doing this for a while. Because, like Punisher said, not everybody wants to look at the BMW. Not everybody can afford it. But you get yourself a nice Honda Civic that you can afford. It's even it. Let it park next to that BMW. You're gonna have people looking at both.
Well, even like we say when we're building our shows, like in our auction list, there's something for everybody in there.
Yep.
So we're trying to run like the full spectrum of customers on a single show.
Yeah, and most of our Sundays, I mean, we're selling out better than not. Of all the books now. So there's something to be said. We're doing something right if we're like I'd say 80% of the time selling every book on our Sundays.
I can't disagree with you more, my friend. 100% on key. And then I see the I'm going to call them clowns because they sit there and they don't have it. They have books and you go in the show and you're like, okay, let me go support a new seller. And they're listing shit for 10 times what it should be going for.
Exactly.
And I'm like, okay, maybe it got sold one time in its history at that price, but you're never going to get that price for that.
Yeah, you weren't in here earlier too. We were talking about understanding that Whatnot is you're not going to get fair market value, and,
Yeah.
and the percentages that go along with that, and understanding, Whatnot or what a reasonable deal somebody would want, and then Whatnot deals on top of that. Because if you go, a con is different than a garage sale, which is different than a LCS, which is different than, so on. You have to you got to look at the data.
Oh, 100%. Without a doubt. Because people go to Whatnot for deals.
Yep.
No different than when I was looking for my Hawk 181. I scoured eBay, because I wanted to get one that was graded. So there was no questions that it was complete. I didn't want to deal with a raw. I was at the con looking for one. I kind of got prices what the cons were. And I negotiated the hell out of that thing to keep getting them down. So I get it.
And
Yeah.
going back to my point earlier, it all starts from the buyer on how much you're paying for a book. It doesn't matter how you acquire your books, whether it's in a bulk collection or your dollar bin diving or whatever you're doing. You need to understand your profit margins, and that is going to be key for your success.
3 words. Know your numbers.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, even though I do my own books, I love going into claim shows. I do because I have like this sick thing where I love Star Comics, and like if I can find a weird Star #1 that I didn't know existed, I'm all over it.
Dude, you need to go to our show in September.
That's me too.
That is you're gonna puke out happiness then.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like those anything that's like my childhood, those toys I played with, stuff like that. Even though they're not expensive, like you put a Master Universe in front of me, I'm like all over it. It's just crazy. But
Strawberry shortcake, dude. I'm
yes,
a dude, and I get giddy when I see a strawberry shortcake #1.
I'm that way with G.I. Joe comic books from the
Yeah.
80s.
Carm goes crazy. But seriously, Strawberry Shortcake #1 in very high grade is worth a very much amount of money.
Again,
I
you
sold-
might
I
want to
sold
stop
2 of
into
them.
that show in September. It's gonna be awesome.
Like trust me when I say if you get it in 9698, it's a shitload of money. It's
I
crazy.
sold 2 of them. I know. And the problem
Rainbow
is I
Bright,
got them
that's
for a
another one.
girl. I got them for a girl. I got a super high grade one for a girl, and I charged her only like $25. But you know, it doesn't matter to me. I paid half that amount.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I got lucky and I got Carm a minty it's going to CGC Canadian price variant of it.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
I had to move my show to Saturday. I forgot
Nice.
that I had fantasy football tomorrow night.
Yeah. Yeah,
That was
it's
a gift from the boys. All my friends on the internet, they all chipped in and bought that for me.
Oh, right on.
so yeah, so I was just again trying to bring back from the mine was more, are they going to is what not to be looking for some legal troubles because of the fact of doing what they're doing? Because let's face it, the tariffs from United States to Canada were always there. Like we understand this, right? We've us Canadians, we know this. We get screwed 5 ways from Sunday. But my question is now we're getting screwed again because you guys are getting it the same that we've got it. But now to me, it's discouraging people from actually buying from this. This is in my opinion, this is actively discouraging.
I would not disagree with the specific notice or warnings when you before you're even allowed to enter the show. You get that notification. I would say yes. I don't know what the legal aspect of that would be, but it's the way. Again, I don't want to get into politics, but politics does play into this. It's the way things are going right now. It plays a part in it.
All right. So we'll go to some questions. The Baileys has anybody sold any toys on Whatnot? And if so, any recommendations?
Yes, we have. I have a shit ton that I need to sell too, and I haven't delved enough into it. I would say that it is a very particular market, and just like with comics, if you're going to get into it, go easy, go slow, do a buy it now, maybe start incorporating some of that into your comic shows, because the people that are buying comics bought the toys of those comics, and it's a good way to start getting yourself out there, doing it slowly so you're not losing a bunch of money. Because the ones that we did sell, they might have sat for a while, but when they did sell, we got we got pretty close to fair market value. But we did it that one we did smart. And I have a half a storage unit full of toys that we need to figure out how to do.
Okay.
But you got to build that following too, because people buy toys, but we're not toy sellers, so we have to get ourselves known to sell toys.
I would agree. My answer is Labubu's. Forget it. Just all sell the
Just sell tits. And have Punisher Rider show his butthole or threaten to show his
Oh
butthole.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
worked
That'll
Hey, don't
solve it.
laugh. I
It
got
works,
a
man.
Labubu. I got a Labubu for my show. Just fuck with people.
That's awesome.
But I can tell you from I do buy toys, but I only buy specific toys on I buy international and knockoffs and bootleg toys, which is really, really hot. Um Dr. Twisted, who's on Whatnot. Um I've been with him since the beginning where he was growing, and he goes all over the world looking for these toys, gets separate molds. I can show you some of the badass toys. And he does extremely well, like 50, 60 people in his room. You know, he's a charity base, but he has stuff that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
What I've seen on a lot of toys is that people are going to garage sales and flea markets and everything, and that's great. They're getting toys, but they're trying to ask for box prices on a loose that's sitting in a box.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like I sit there and I'm like, what are you serious? Like, so it is pretty crazy.
It can depend on what kind of toy it is too. Like some of the old 3.75 G.I. Joes or the G1 Transformers, even out of the box, they can go for a pretty good price, but
Check
you
this
still have
out.
to price them accordingly. You got some superpowers
That's
there
awesome.
too. See?
So
See, I have a mint in box. Anybody remember those old Marvel Gold?
Yeah.
Yeah. They were anywhere from 500 to 1,500 made of depending on the figure. Stupid fucking rare. More rare than fucking some of the comics we have. I mean, some of those are like $1,000. Some of them are like, well, honestly, there's a couple that are 20, but like that Black Knight one is ridiculous. The Taskmaster, ridiculous. And I have all of them. So, I mean, again, it's not something that I would sell in an auction. I would put those in the buy now, and it would take somebody that would understand, okay, there's 500 made of the Black Knight, super rare. There's only 500 in existence, and how many are destroyed? I'm not selling that for a fucking dollar.
no, but the problem is don't sell them into your comic people.
Yeah, yeah.
You start stalking the toy category, watch people who cross categories and see what they do, and then go to a person who sells figs, especially in your action figure, your Marvel, your Legends, your Black Series, Star Wars, whatever. Follow all them fuckers, and they'll
Yeah.
25% return follow rate and post a show.
Yep.
Well, we can just use examples that we've seen. JoJo, everybody knows who JoJo Collectibles is.
Yep.
Okay. He sells Funkos. Like he opened in 3 years, he opened his own shop and he sells Funkos also. He has Funko shows and he blows up on that. So that's if you want to cross platform and do other stuff. I mean, hell, I've even thought about going into the storage room or whatever.
Is the model for everything? Well, and you laugh, but we all know him and we all interact with him. He has figured out the algo or AI thing for everything. Like he really has. And if you just watch him, it's interact with your crowd, interact with the people in your chat one-on-one over and over again, and run fucking nonstop gibbies. And you can do anything on that goddamn platform.
Yeah. The thing that is crazy to me, if you go to storage lockers and estate sale section of Whatnot and watch people buy comic books in there, people that like
insane.
They pay ridiculous. These rebuyers that do these things buy these dollar bin comic books for stupid amount of money, have no idea what they're buying. And, I mean, maybe that's another section of Whatnot we could look into.
Predatory.
To be fair, I tried that once on a random Thursday afternoon, and I ran for an hour. I made $500 just on junk.
Or you could get it with guys like Josh Comics on Instagram and get him to hype some random book that's now 1,500% increase by purchases on
Stop, because that ruins the hobby for actual people.
I'm just joking, dude. I'm just joking.
The fucking FOMO books thing turned me off of the hobby. Like, it's like everyone needs to shut their fucking face and listen.
Well, he did it just to prove a point that that this shit doesn't make it doesn't really matter.
Well, yeah.
West Coast Avengers Doom book. That thing blew up. That was just a FOMO thing. And
yeah, there's one West Coast that's actually money, and that's only $15.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great. I love it every single year at SDCC because I know something's going to happen, and I know I can go usually to the flea market the next day, grab it, and make myself a good amount of money. Don't get me wrong. I don't want it to completely stop.
But yeah, I don't either because I don't care about any of those titles that they FOMO. I was like, man, it kind of ruins the whole hobby though.
It does, and
in a bigger scope, it does, and I'm like, because it turns people off.
But you're seeing that it's actually. I mean, it's getting less and less every time, just like the packs
it's like
and the
celebrity death fakes that were around 10 years ago.
Yeah,
it becomes less believable each time.
Yeah, it's at some point it's not going to move the needle at all.
Talking about JoJo took one of my FU Harleys and sold it for $150.
Jesus.
A paper?
Yes.
So
the one he got for me.
JoJo would come to my shows and buy a bunch of shit because I was part of the clique, right? And he was mad that he can make money off me. I was like, fucking do it, bro.
He sent me a picture. He sent me a picture of the people. They were happy to death giving me the finger about the book. And I'm like, dude, that's great. And I see it on eBay. We've seen it. I don't care about making that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to sit on it to make that. I want to make sure that people actually have it in their possession. I want people to own it.
But so can I say something about JoJo?
Yeah.
We've been interacting with him one-on-one, I'm sure. Right? Or run into him. So I deleted my account at like, I don't know, 900 people. New game, right? So he's got 23,000 followers. He reached out to me. You all right, man?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just want to speak to that because all the shit he does, all the shit he's got going on with the kid and the fucking shop and nonstop shows, like, I don't know, that speaks to a person's character no matter what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Did I ever tell you the story of how I got to my first 1,000? I didn't even know JoJo. And I came into JoJo's show and I was sitting there and I came in a couple times and I was like, hey, I'm only 60 people away from hitting my first 1,000. And he stopped the show and gave away a drone to get me 60 more followers.
Right?
Didn't know me from shit.
I don't know if it was you or Surtur. Panelist tells a similar story. It might have been Surtur. I don't know. One of the two of you, same kind of deal. He was close to 5K. Same deal. Shut down the show. Just gave away shit till Scandalous hits a fucking metric. That says a lot about the people that actually care, because there's infinite new people that are just making 43 cents a book that only care about that.
I've seen Scandalous do it too for people.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all every Wednesday. And that's why Scandalous hasn't made it. He runs a Wednesday show. He's running right now. And he's giving away a slab if X person hits this bookmark quota. And it's all he gives a fuck. He doesn't sell out a lot of times. He doesn't care. He wants to hit that bookmark metric for somebody he ran into on the app. He did it, I don't know, 8 months ago.
And I mean, look at Joey D, for example. The guy goes on, we're doing a big family thing. He goes on to help people all the time.
2 shows tomorrow just to train people. No sales.
Correct.
Yep.
Does giveaways. I mean, you can't, after all the assholes that are on the app and then all the great, because this is a great community. I mean, I've met Richard, I've met Flat Earth, I've met Heroes, I've met Surtur. JoJo, Joey, Queen Riza.
Les,
Yeah, Chase, Les. You just can't go. I like how great and how nice and great people really are
Well,
that really matter on this app.
10 to 20%. And how do we convert the rest is the problem.
Oh,
I'm
trust
sure
me,
he-
I
I'm
have
sure
been
he will.
banned.
Fuck y'all.
Well, yeah, fuck you too.
I said flat Earth.
I know, but I'm just saying.
I know. I'm just playing.
I think the percentage of goods that we run into on the app are higher than you run into out in the fucking wild, for sure. And if you commute to work, maybe the percentage even lower. How do we convert more people into realizing that it's not a get rich app, and you can build a community that will help you grow? My thing was, I'm going to come into shows, and I did it in your show. Hey, I bought a thing. Fuck it. I don't know. Send it to Santa. I don't care.
yeah, I mean, we could go on and on. You got Filthy, Graphic
That's
Legends,
what happens
John.
when we string
ECR collect.
Yep, there's so many. And again, that's where, if the new sellers, as they're listening to this, you know, we're throwing names out there for you to connect to and build that relationship, that rapport.
Bailey's who are here as
Yeah,
well.
there's
You,
so
you
many.
have to network. Even like my experience of streaming on YouTube, your channel and your whatnot page is never going to grow if you don't network, make friends with the people on the app, and get yourself out there on the socials. I know some people are like, well, I don't like Facebook, I don't like Instagram. Even if you don't like going on Facebook,
I didn't do any of that shit. Even if you're just app specific, I'll go to shows. I might buy a thing or two just to support, but I interact and I talk to them, and then I will mod for them because they know who I am, and I don't just ban people. I promote what's in their fucking bin. I promote their next show, and that's all it takes. Is actually
There's the other aspect too. For the people that are listening and or will be listening in the future, when you do that, just remember your roots too on how you got there and where, because there's also plenty of people that did everything we're saying, then they got to a certain point, and now they're the people that are not necessarily the people that we're talking about anymore.
Yeah, and that happens too. There's definitely a fork in the road.
Yeah, so maintain your character, your integrity, and be a good resource for others as you start to build yourself up as well.
100%. I cannot disagree with that more. And I can tell you that how close this community is. I am actually closer with people in this community than I am on friends that I've had here locally. I mean, there's every day I'm talking to somebody or I'm having a Zoom meeting with two people and trying to introduce them. And, it's just absolutely amazing, the support. And I can tell you, I have fought against people there's been problems with. I'm not going to say it hasn't been drama in the last year, but at the end of the day, I always tell people the same thing. Take the high road and leave them in your dust.
Yep.
That's all that matters.
Yep. Here's an example. I think I might have talked with Punisher and Flat after Monday's bragging rights. I met somebody on the site. I got pretty close with them, helped them out a lot, and they gave me some advice. So I'm not saying good or bad at this point. But I popped in their show and I made a comment about something about literally, thank you for popping in my show the other night. And I was talking about my show on that individual show that I've been talking to for months. And he just blew up and was like, block them, you're just basically the terms and service, I broke it because I was talking about myself as a seller and just humiliated the shit out of me. And I thought we were cool. And when people come in, promote them, help them out, do those things. Don't be that type of person.
No, Matt and Sam used to come to mind. I wanted everyone to promote themselves, whether it was on that app, YouTube, whatever. Like, how do you connect people if you're going to be a fucking narcissist?
Yep.
I'm not.
But it happens. You get to a certain level and you think, oh, I don't need them.
It happens all the time.
I can name you about 5 of them right now on their Punisher.
Yeah, but again, But at the same token, there's some self-serving to that. Because if JoJo's in my show and Scandal's in my show and Yeti Bun on my show and Sam's in my show and Matt's in my show and Rich is my show, and I can see them and they interact and I can call them out and I can get them a follower or two.
Yeah.
Self-serving or not, when I pop into their show and I mod or buy, they're going to call me out in a positive way, right? That's kind of a self-serving point of it. Whether it's your intention or not, if you do good by one, they should do good by you. They don't have to.
And look,
it comes around with karma.
When I first started out, I made friends with Memo 420, and like he was like, "Hey, everybody give him like so many followers. He's just starting out, so you'll run into people like that, and then you run into people that are just like, fuck you." But like every time I'm in Jay's Les's stream, he's like, "Hey, give this guy a follow right here, you know." And I try to do that for everybody else when they come on my stream. I just think that's just mutual respect.
Yep.
Because again, even if someone you have interacted with and they sell, you don't have that person cook. My PC is very specific. If you can directly tell that has the shit I want, I'm gonna appreciate that.
Yeah. And it's and he didn't know me. Memo 420 didn't know me from Adam when I first did that. So I think, but me, I try to be cool with everybody. I'm the same way on YouTube. As long as they don't mess with me, I won't mess with them, and I'll help you out. But I've always been like that.
Well, hell, JS Les has an entire line from when I come into the show.
Yeah.
I go into Richard's show. He blows me up too. And when they come in my show, I blow them up. I'm like, listen, this is who you need to follow. And then the shit talking starts. But then, that's all part of my show fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit talking's fun. I mean, when I did boxes, I used to hide other people's names on the back of a book. You found another user's name on a book you want to fucking slap. Just it didn't cost me shit. Most of the slabs I won in Byron for mystery shows, it's like, I don't understand gatekeeping. I know what happens in every hobby, but all it does is limit everybody.
Now, we've talked about all the good people. Let's talk about bad. Now, I personally feel if you've got somebody coming in your show, especially if you're going to try to do your own book, or if you're trying to do something and sell something, and somebody just wants to come in and start acting like a complete jackass, and there's difference. There's a line.
Sam and I are going to do it on purpose.
Then drop the hammer on them. And
but if Sam and I are going to do it on purpose to interact,
but there are people that literally, I mod in a lot of shows and had to literally ban and block people and report people because they just got very vicious. And it happens in a lot of female shows that I see. Guys are just like, dude, you're not getting with them. Stop. There's a line you cross.
I've seen that.
Well, yeah.
I've seen that hundreds. I've seen that a lot on there, especially if it's like a good-looking girl. I'm like, and these guys are just like, I don't know. I don't get into it, but Jesus Christ. Yeah. But it's crazy.
We had the issue with somebody was kind of tippy-toeing across that line here and there throughout shows with Mel, and we were able to rein that one in. To be fair, he's a mod for us now. So I had to tighten the reins in and set some boundaries. But again, you don't be afraid to lose one follower. Pilsner put it best, like multiple weeks. He brings this up. It's okay to not have that disruption and lose that one person. Because it's not healthy having that in the show. Other people will get dissuaded and not like it either, and then they won't return just because. I mean, it's icky and uncomfortable.
I'm a big fuck 'em all fan. So, I don't know. I ran a really short show. It was my last show. I ran an FFX show, and I took one, and I fucking took a top handle chainsaw to it, and then I ended the show. Like, I don't really give a fuck what happens.
Hey, Mr. Alien.
Alien.
Hey, sorry I'm late, guys. Holy smokes.
And hey, at least I'm not the last one.
We
Awesome.
expect.
But yeah, I can tell you that you do that shit in my show, we're going to embarrass the shit out of you. We're going to make you feel uncomfortable. And then we're going to just ban your ass.
What do you think about that?
Yeah. Well, Alien, you came in a little bit late. That's I tried to hold off on the thing, but
No problem, dude.
what are your thoughts on the, because part of the reason I did the tariffs topic was specifically because of Canadian sellers like
Canadian
me,
sellers,
like
yeah.
you, and whatever, right? Do you feel that those sort of things are discouraging people from buying from you? Are you seeing it?
Well, not tonight. I mean, tonight I seem to rock and roll. I mean, everything seems to
Good.
work, which is good, I guess. Cheers. But I do have a story I'd like to share with tariffs. I had a guy was a repeat customer from Atlanta. Really nice guy. He's a geek dad. He's selling for his son or buying for his son, right? And he's messaged me privately. He's like, "Hey, do you think you could get me a loot before the end of the month?" And this was on the 21st, I think it was. And I'm like, you know what? There's 10 days. I think probably we can make it, right? Coming from Canada all the way down there, staying East Coast. So anyway, long story short, he just wanted the stuff before the tariffs came in. So I think there was some front running with that story, at least. But tonight people were buying. So I don't know if that discouraged them at all from my perspective.
Okay, cool.
But it doesn't take effect.
That's good to hear. 31st, yeah. But it's been implemented now into whatnot, and what they're doing, at least initially, is giving Canadian sellers 4% fees rather than the 13th until, what is it, September 7th, I think, Alien?
I think that's right.
I think it's the 7th. Yeah. At least to offset a little bit. But yeah, I noticed it when you go in and you see the shipping prices. Like for me to my Buffalo, it used to be like like $10, I think, for the shipping. Now it's like $17, $18 to start.
Well, that's up there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can tell you as a guy that does buy a little bit on whatnot. Sometimes I usually, no offense, I usually avoid the shows from Canada and Great Britain because of the extra shipping.
No offense taken, buddy.
we know it. That's why we were so close when we got Chit Chats, and Chit Chats was getting us there where we were able to do things, and it's
and I think Glenn knows him. We have a friend, or he's an acquaintance, but he knows him. He's a friend of mine from Great Britain, Dr. Von Hoot. He's on YouTube, but he has a whatnot, and he sells trading cards. And I was like, I'll come over there and check you out. He goes, yeah, you can come in, but I'm telling you, you don't want to buy nothing. He used to tell me, don't buy anything.
Yep. It's, I don't know. But that's why, again, that's the thing. But you don't do pre-bids, but one of the topics, Alien, was if you had to do a pre-bid on an item, where would you put your percentage, kind of, right? Because you're an established seller. If let's say it's $100 item, where would you want the pre-bids to be? Like, would you start it at where you're happy? Or let's say you're starting it at $1, where would you at least, what percentage of above or whatever of what you paid, where would you want to see it before you ran that book?
Oh, so like basically, if I paid 10 for a book, when I sell it for
what percentage? On top.
Okay, yeah. So as a rule, because we use eBay too, the platform that shall not be mentioned, that place is ridiculous, and I'm calculating an average of 22 to 25% of my, take home, whatever, is gone to fees and shit. So given that, I kind of start with a double. So if I buy something for 10, I sell it for 20, list it for 20. Then I have at least 50% of room to offer offers, 10, 20%, 30% off sometimes. And then I can also accept offers, unsolicited ones. So if like a guy just like, yeah, I'll give you 13 for it. Okay. That's 30% in my mind. Right. So
Okay.
I work with
Well,
I work with a double and then I come backwards, if that makes sense.
sure. Okay. Yeah, I was like we were talking about like having stuff preloaded in your auction where they could pre-bid, and let's say it was at
Yeah.
$1, it was like at what
Yeah. I realized
percentage
I
would
didn't answer the
be.
question.
Yeah, no, it's all data is good data. even
Yeah.
even bad data still can be good data.
All right, cool. Yeah, for pre-bids, I haven't really experimented with that, but what I have done on other platforms is start at $1, $2. So I would just do, and I've done that tonight too, like live bids. I was doing $1, $2, sometimes $5 starts, depending on the book. I had some Mark Jewelers that I was starting at 5,
Mhm.
but like the newsstands were at 2. And I just kind of let it go. I mean, there's sometimes like I'll get screwed, blued, and tattooed on a book, but whatever. That's part of this. It's part of the
Okay.
game, I guess.
All right.
But yeah.
Well, that's kind of and Punisher. Where would you? Well, I know you don't do pre-bids. You just run.
Well,
The
actually, I have done some in the past. It's not necessarily where the pre-bid is; it's where the room is at that time. Um, I want to see what buyers are in there, people I know that are bidders, and I mean, you may have that surprise one, but if the room's being slow at the moment, even if I have close to the pre-bid I would want, I'm still going to hold off a little bit and wait till I feel the room's ready. I think there's no exact science, but it's more of just being patient. I try to tell this to new sellers, and I even tell this to, I actually do help a lot of veteran sellers with things. Um, be patient. Stop being that book has to sell at 2 o'clock. By two at 2:10, somebody could come in that room and wants that same book, what you wanted to ask for it. It's doesn't have to sell that moment, and a lot of people get caught up in that, and it's like, oh, this book ain't going to sell, this book ain't selling. Okay, well, who's in the room at that time? Who's looking at it? Because sometimes people want to look it up, sometimes people are trying to see what else you might have before they purchase it. I mean, if we talked about this being a luxury, there are plenty of people, for example, that only have $100 or $50 to spend the entire weekend. So they don't want to sit there and spend 45 of it on a book you just showed, because and then the next book or 3 books from now, you show something they really, really, really want and they can't afford it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I got a
Especially.
question for
Oh, sorry.
everybody.
Go ahead.
Me, what I do, and
Sorry.
I mean, just what I do doesn't mean it works for everybody. I tease you. I sometimes put a book at a price that makes you think really, really hard. And then even I've had it like even after my last show, I had like 4 people message me for 2 slabs and wanted to buy them after the show. And I'm like, okay, I'll bend it for you. No problem. They were like, I can't let that go. And I'm like, so it's kind of a dance that you play. But to answer your original question, I wait till the room is ready.
Okay, Matt, you had a question?
Yeah. We were talking. It's about the pre-bids. Is anybody in here? I've never done it. I just want to know if anybody's had a book that was probably, I mean, maybe fairly expensive book, and you didn't get the pre-bid you thought on it, and would you not run that, or you run it anyway and just go, fuck it, I'll bite the bullet?
Nope, don't run it.
And we have. I mean, again, it's a gamble at a point. I just brought up the Silver Surfer Volume 1, Number 1. I mean, we lost our asses on that book, and it was a high pre-bid on it, so we assumed it was going to keep going. It was, I mean, obviously.
Yeah,
But that being said, it balanced out
in the pre-bids.
Yeah, it balanced out the other books.
Fargo.
Sure.
And
I was going to say Punisher's thing. Read the room. That's
Yep.
that's maybe the best advice that I've heard tonight about the pre-bids is read the room.
Books when you're posting that have potential for pre-bids.
But yes, I'm digging in either.
you know, something else you can do that helps you is just go to different whatnot sellers. Don't worry about buying anything. Just watch what they do. And like what and another thing you could do is if you see this is like a little secret, or maybe not, go into their sold section and go in and just start clicking those names
Yep.
and hit follow, hit follow, hit follow for all the people that are buying
I do
big
that.
stuff. So that way you can get, you know who buyers are, who the players are. But me personally, if I'm running big books, I kind of follow the Culture Den model. Culture has, we all know Culture. Culture grew up with us, and he went big. And look at the size books this guy runs. And he's a great guy, but he stopped giving the shit away. Like his bins loaded now with those big books. He waits to get a pre-bid. If the pre-bid's not there, okay, like Alien said, okay, I bought it for 10. I listed it for 20. He might list it out. He says, okay, well, I'm going to run it for 15. What I'm saying is, let's go. This is my best price. And I've seen him sell it that way. So again, he waits to read the room. And I've watched him not lose his ass as much on those big books because, you know, for example, if I could tell you with our books, sometimes it's not good to run a 1 of 1 or a gold or a metal until 3 or 4 people, or certain people are in that room that you know really, really want that. And I'm not giving it away. So it just, I think that's the big thing is just go and watch some other big sellers. If you get in the room and you're like, that's not for me, or I'm not really learning anything, then fucking leave. There's too many other sellers to go check out.
Mm-hmm.
I got something I would like to ask the group, guys, and I apologize, Glenn. I didn't get a chance to mention this prior, but has anybody had like Shopify and chargebacks? Has anybody ever had that issue?
No.
Okay,
Not
if I
with-
could take
not with
2 minutes to
whatnot.
explain this is like a fraud that I got nailed on. Okay, so I have a Shopify site, and someone bought my Batman 423. It was a Canadian price variant, and it was high grade. It was like a VF or something, right, in a slab. And the guy just bought it from my website, and the price was like, I don't know, $600 or something, and he paid for it, and the credit card cleared. But surrounding the transaction were all these red flags that Shopify had noted. They're like, oh, this is a high chance for a chargeback. You know, consider canceling the order. It's very high probability of fraud. And of course, I didn't take these warnings because I got paid. So I was like, okay, what the hell's the fraud, right? Sent the guy the book. And just the other day, I got a chargeback, which is a Visa or a MasterCard request from the original owner. Perhaps his card was compromised. And so he was calling the bank and saying, hey, I never bought this. Right. And so the guy that got my book, and he probably got $1,000 too. So I was like, double trouble. So just watch for those chargebacks.
That's why, as much as everyone complains about whatnot does support the sellers, or at least they have been up to most recently, where under the people that when you buy, if a buyer buys something, you are protected as a seller because they give the buyer 2 weeks to say, hey, this isn't what I was promised. But you as a buyer don't ever see that problem. It's only through whatnot. Whatnot refunds them the money. Mm-hmm. You keep the money that you got, and then they sell it in one of their auctions but and it doesn't go against you till you get quite a few. I can't remember the number. We tested it with me and Cozy tested it with Sosa. Ask Cozy, he'll tell you the number. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but we did it and never was there a problem till
Wasn't
you
it
get that
10?
email.
For some reason, 10 sticking in my head.
I think it is. Again, Kazi he'll know it better than I do because I only did a couple.
Yeah, so from that advice, Glenn, I would say I agree. Like, force people or try to coerce people to buy from you or whatnot, because those protections are present. In my Shopify, I just had a bunch of warnings that were
Yeah.
really cryptic and frankly didn't make sense. But live and learn. So,
Yep. Oh,
happy
sure.
birthday to me. What can I say?
That sucks because it's too bad. It's too bad because yeah, I grabbed one. I got a 423. It's probably about an 8.
Nice.
For new
Mine's gone.
buyers, I highly recommend don't buy game systems and try to give them away to try to get buyers in your show.
Oh yeah.
Until you get established, and unless it's a special event, because you got to automatically take that shit off the top. Yeah, okay, so it's a Nintendo Switch, $300. Okay,
Right.
but you have to make all that back plus all the books that you sold before you even consider making any profit. So unless you're going to sell a couple $1,000s worth of stuff that day, you're going to lose your ass. And then those same people will not come back in your show unless you have something like that, for the most part.
Yeah. And a good thing is taking what Matt said and what Punisher said is go in, look for buyers that have a good buyer's appreciation. Whether it's a slab, it doesn't have to be anything big, right? But maybe buy a dollar book or a $2 book that you think you might like. Get that, maybe get a chance at winning that slab, and you can use the slab as your buyer giveaway.
Oh, one
Done
other
that too.
thing. With all your, I cannot recommend this enough. With every one of your auctions in the listing, put no cancellations, period. Because if you do buyers giveies and stuff like that, I have seen it in the past where if people didn't win, they want to cancel their book
Yep.
or whatever. And I'm sorry, it's you. I could have sold that to somebody else. You bid
Right.
on it. Sorry, you're stuck with it.
Yep.
So I was in Robot Monster Island's room. That guy's got some really huge books, right? And I mean, you got to go in. If you're going to go into a room like that, you got to have credit. Like, you got to have cash or credit. Like, come on, right?
Mhm.
And I've seen it so many times where these big guys come out and they buy these first Punisher or something, and it's like 3K, and it's like the what do you call it? The payment didn't go through. It's like, dude, don't go in here. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hold
but
up
a
your
lot of
book.
times that doesn't matter. That's the algorithm. That happens a lot. I called my
I
bank
have
and
that like 2 or
I
3 a
prepped it,
show.
but
Well, I
um,
can also tell you what I saw, and you can laugh at me, but I go to other parts of the app. Like, I wanted to see what the big hype was on a Labubu. And, like, why the hell are these things going crazy? So I just started
I
watching them.
know.
And there's these buyers that come in, and the bid jumps from like 150, 250 to all of a sudden like $3,000. And it's like, what in the world's going on? And in those streams, we haven't seen it too much in the comic streams, maybe in robots or something like that.
Hmm.
They're bidding such ridiculous prices. And
Wow.
like you said, then all of a sudden the bid book doesn't go through or something like that. So they're blocking other people from buying. Now, could this also be somebody that's on their side that's not
That's
getting the
true.
price they want for an item? So they're putting this stupid, ridiculous bid with a fake bonus, bogus card that they know doesn't have that kind of money on it. We
yeah,
don't know.
there's show
That's true.
bidders,
Yeah.
and
Could be some shady stuff.
they're actually we had it one weekend where I went and I think I told you about it too, Punisher, where I said I notified a bunch of sellers. I'm like, these guys are going around and bidding up people specifically so that you'll have to wait till the end of the stream to resell the book or whatever. They were purposely doing it. There was like I think it was like 3 to 5 guys that were purposely going around and doing it.
And
I mean, I hate
I've seen
to
people like that on
Cock
was
block.
running a guy asshole like that on Jess's thing, just doing it to be a fucking dick.
Now, Jay, I will tell you, JoJo did that to me. JoJo did it on purpose because I was calling JoJo out, calling him names on the stream, telling him he wouldn't bid, he did it, and then we just rebid it because it was a joke. But I'm talking about just people, because I saw that the other night.
Yeah.
It was a card break. You want to talk about where money's being spent on a
Yeah.
gamble? Is I saw a breaking company sell $100,000 in a break, and over half the people didn't even get anything. That's crazy.
That's not.
It's the mystery box effect, I guess, eh? Like a lot of
Yeah.
Which they're cracking down on.
But you could
Okay.
also turn around if you didn't hit. Oh, I want to cancel. You know what I mean? So you just got to be really careful.
Right. Okay, I may do that, Punisher. Put the no cancellations in.
I go into the title. I either go in the title publisher. You can go in and put no cancellations, and then just it'll start putting names up, and I just hit other, and I literally put it in every stream. That way, you can't come back on me. It already says it in every description that you purchase. No cancellations, because we've seen Whatnot side with the buyers before.
Yeah.
Well, they do. Well, they may, but it doesn't. It again, you keep that money, right? Even if the buyer gets the cancellation, right? It's not like on eBay where they always side with the buyers.
Fucking hate
And-
eBay. They're terrible.
Yeah,
But
like
this protects me. You know what I mean? Like, guess
Yeah.
what? If Whatnot comes back, just like when I do buyer's givvies, in my buyer givvy description, it basically says if you're a form filler, you can go pound sand and
Right.
you will get a Geezer comic sticker. That's what you'll get.
That's fine, but that is not comply with their TOS.
That they ain't get. Listen, the way I look at it, my money, I'm gonna give them what I give them. If you're a form filler.
I sent somebody a shredded Gen X book because they were form filler. I don't really give a fuck if they're selling it. Put a sticky note on it that I intentionally do not list pictures of the buyer's giveaways because I'm not beholden to it. But yeah, just be careful with that because the TOS is very buyer preferential.
I know. It's just I've seen it over. I've seen people wait all show to win a PS5, and it went to a form filler, and I thought the group was gonna lose it.
Yeah, and I get it. That's why you don't specify what the buyer's giveaway is. You just put buyer's giveaway, and you put up no picture, and then you can do whatever the fuck you want because they have no proof.
Correct.
Right, but that doesn't allow them.
I put it in the bag and board, and I put a sticky note that said "in bagged and boarded as per TOS," and I sent the fucking thing out.
Yeah. Well, have
Yeah.
we got other questions from the chat or anybody else in here? that's
Chat.
got a-
Is there a chat? We invited all.
Actually, no, I haven't looked.
Yeah, we had Not Real Bailey, Sweet Old DJ,
Oh, yeah, there
Yeah.
we go. Okay.
Kate,
Hello, everyone.
Nerdy Geek.
We don't support shit talkers.
Well, I'm sorry. I guess I gotta go.
So, well, as I said, I just wanted to see if anyone had any other questions. It's been another great show. It's been really cool. I just wanted to make sure, keep it on topic as much as we can, but every piece is awesome.
Yeah.
This is why I like having panels.
If you're gonna invite hooligans like us on,
It is what it is.
You can't put me and Richard in the same room and expect it to stay on the rails.
Preach,
Well,
brother, preach.
especially when I derail all your shows. So it's not like payback's a bitch. I have no problems with it.
Hey,
Don't make me show
tomorrow's
my
Mel's
asshole
birthday.
again, Flat.
Jesus.
Everybody, wish Mel a happy birthday. Her birthday's tomorrow.
Happy
birthday,
birthday.
Mel.
Hey,
Thanks, everybody.
Happy birthday
Virgos unite.
to you.
No, but I
Happy
can
birthday
definitely see this.
to you.
Flat, I appreciate you giving us the opportunity to talk because this way, listen, we're not doing what Comic Tom does. We're not doing that. And you know what? We can give a lot of good advice and we all are willing to help other people. And we're just a community that want to be together. And so I appreciate you giving us this opportunity, my friend.
Yeah, dude.
Second
I
that for
want
sure.
I want to help everyone get better, right? I may not be the best seller when it comes to charisma and whatever all the time, but where my things lie, my talents lie are in things like hosting stuff like this. Network. I'm good at networking. Um, and I can get a lot of people and I can bring a lot of people together. That's usually what kind of where I am. And thanks, guys. Like seriously, guys, it's awesome because no one's going to have the exact same interactions. No one's going to have the exact same experiences. That's what the panel show is all about. It's about everyone saying, this is how I see it. This is how we do it. This is what works for us. And you can take the little bits that work from one person, the stuff that doesn't work for you, and just pick and choose, and it just works out. It
Yeah,
helps
it's not
everybody.
our fault that you guys don't look as good as me and Richard do. So I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
I'm gonna break the
Uh-huh.
fucking lens over here.
Give you 2 tickets to the gun
Wait,
show.
Hold on. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's 4 out of the 6 that are well. Aliens. Yeah, you're bald.
That's bald
I'm
enough.
I'm bald. I'm bald. Rick's
I
bald.
shaved my head,
Punisher is
too.
bald. Yeah, so do I. Oh, it's good times.
I do appreciate you all very much, by the way. You guys are fam.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Same. Thanks very much, Glenn, guys, for having me on.
Yeah.
Sorry I'm late.
Yeah, no problems. Again, we're going to end the show, but if you want to stay backstage, you're more than welcome. And usually we just chit chat after, anyways. So, guys, thanks again. Thanks again, chat. You guys make it awesome. Think of some cool topics that you want to talk about in upcoming. Let me know, and we'll go from there.
I got a topic: how to get rid of Glenn and just use the Santa puppet.
money.
Hey, shut up.
Money, that's
Shut up,
it.
Punisher. What do you think you're doing, man? Go away. This plane's got his hand up my ass, and I can't get rid of it. So not gonna happen.
Don't buy from FES. He's not wearing gloves.
You at least put on like a rubber glove before you do that.
Oh no, of course not. No, it's
Leave it
it's raw, buddy. The Santa puppet like it raw. All right, guys.
All right, see you guys. Thanks so much.
Yeah, no problem.
On for a little bit.
Just a minute.
Yeah.
Bye.